What's up? This is Nak3d Eli, the mostly unclothed gamer, and welcome to my Halo 3 zero-shot world record speedrun of the Storm. This is basically the Storm on Legendary with no shots fired, only grenades, melees, and I can give my AI whatever they want, and they can also shoot from the vehicles like the Warthog. So from the start here, you see me looking to the left. I'm about to pounce on this guy in the driver's seat. And this is, by the way, one of my favorite missions of all time. I'm going to talk a little bit about why I think that is, why it has such great level design, and what we can learn about that for future Halo titles. First things first, big mistake, getting into the same seat. There goes an entire second off my run. But you know what? It has such a long intro on this mission that I said, whatever, I'm just going to continue forward and not make any more mistakes. So that's what I did. You're going to see some insane tactics used to push and pummel through the enemies in this mission, including an insane jump onto the Scarab. So stay tuned to check that out. Right here we have, God, that sounded really like a TV show. Stay tuned for more. I apologize if it came out that way. I thoroughly enjoy this mission. I thoroughly enjoy watching. This is one of my favorite speedruns of all time. One of the reasons is because the world record before mine was 19 minutes and like 50 seconds. It was some insanely long time, and the guy wrote in his post, like, I think this mission could go 3 to 4 minutes faster. And I laughed. I was like, there's no way. Like, I could destroy that. I could cut this time in half. And so I started practicing. This was one of my first zero-shot runs that I submitted to High-Speed Halo. And after I was through with it, I was extremely satisfied. And I just really enjoyed the mission because of all the ground combat, how you can use the Warthog essentially throughout the entire mission, how it also integrates the AI, how, like right here, crazy stuff happens. Like, this ghost is normally not supposed to come up here onto this platform, but he does. And then this other ghost comes up as well. Luckily, my teammates are going to destroy him, and that's going to allow me to get through this section a lot quicker. So the Covenant, trying to pull a quick one on me, is going to allow me to hit the next loading zone as soon as I kill the AA Wraith and just push through that gate that you're seeing right there. Now, one of the problems, though, that they did do, those little ghosts, those pesky ghosts, stopped me from jumping on this Wraith as soon as he dropped because I was almost dead. Luckily, I have the best AI on the planet in my Warthog. They just shot the hell out of the core, and then right here, I was so excited that I get back in, forgetting about the next Phantom, and this guy's going to continue to light up the AA Wraith. And this is how I deal with this section without being able to shoot. There's clearly like missile pods over on the other end that you could use to blow up all the ghosts, and you could use to blow up the AA Wraiths and the Banshees that are going to be raining down on us. But instead, I am going to be able to just ignore all of that, use my Warthog gunners to the best of their abilities, and then push forward through these boxes. And right here, this brute, does he see it coming? Does he see it coming? Bam! I love how his body is like standing there for a second, and then it just flings, just like, oh, and I'm dead, and that's it. So right here, a little tactical jump to get through that box is going to save me some time waiting for this gate to open. And we're going to get slowed down by one of these obnoxious Cortana cutscenes, which happens throughout the entire game, unfortunately. And sometimes, this is actually a funny part, is that these little guys, I mean, I love them to death, but sometimes they shoot rockets down the corridor as you're running through the Cortana cutscene, trying to hit enemies, and sometimes they blow you up. Landed it, because I is the chief, and then we're going to head straight to this AA Wraith. Now, in terms of level design, this is my favorite part of the mission and the most difficult by far to figure out for a zero-shot speedrun, because you can't just go up there and use the missile pods to shoot down all the vehicles, and there are a lot of vehicles in this section. I'm going to go over here. I was hoping to kill that brute before he used his bubble shield, so I could use that for later, but he's going to use it, as you'll see in a second. These two ghosts get obliterated by my AI companions, because when you give teammates infinite rocket launchers, they actually do things. It's fantastic. And sometimes they do a lot, as you'll see. Those choppers, I'm going to clean up one of them, and my teammates are going to obliterate the rest. So part of the hardest part here is trying not to die to the vehicles and trying not to have my teammate die to the vehicles while still setting him up in a position that he can blow these guys up. So you want to basically be really close to them as much as possible, and if you jump off, sometimes you can draw some of their fire away from your teammate, and then that's going to allow him to survive for a longer period of time. So this might look a little messy, but it's actually going like clockwork. Like the choppers are going down, the ghosts are going down, and there's just so many ways you could deal with this section. But the faster you clean up the enemies, the more teammates you have alive with rocket launchers, and the more work they're going to be able to do as a group in cleaning up the basin. There's also some really fun jumps, as you can see, that you could be going off of, but if you're trying to do a speed run, that's probably something you should not be interested in, because who knows if you're going to land those. And you can see I move over here and they completely tore this section apart because I freed them up on the other side and just allowed them to roam free with 3 rocket launchers over here. So this is when I go looking for a bubble shield all around on the ground, and I don't see it, which is pretty disappointing because I really need one for the end of this mission. As you'll see, is going to be a huge skip. So now, as soon as that cutscene activates, I have to come in here, grab the grav lift, and this is my favorite part in the run. I don't remember who I saw do this first, but I'm going to get up here. How many of you knew that this ladder was climbable? Just going to ask that question, and then I'm going to position this grav lift, and oh yes, we're going to get on top of the scarab. If I could scream like Xena, I'd be screaming, ay, 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 and then just jump on up, lose a little bit of the shield, but that's fine. I'm going to back smack this brute as soon as he pops out. None of the enemies are coming up yet, so I'm going to try and leave them down there. I just want to get to the back of this, clean up the grunts safely with that grenade, and now there's a lot of brutes. So I see the plus 140 on the bottom right means I killed that other brute, so now I can move in, and even though this is legendary, they could destroy you in like 3 spiker shots. So I'm going to alternate my shots between them to make them rage and not even shoot at me. Then I'm going to move out the back, hope not to get hit by my teammates' rockets, because that does happen, unfortunately. You get hit by missile pods from the other side. And what is this? A beautiful bubble shield sitting on the ground and an upside down Banshee. Get behind the structure, and then the Scarab's going to explode, but we're safe because we were undercover. Or behind cover, not undercover. Chief is never undercover, except in the latest Halo 5 trailer, and we don't know why that is yet. So now I'm going to move on forward and go with my AI through these doors. That whole section right there, I just completely loved it. I love the vehicles. I love the build up to the Scarab. It's like a mini boss battle, and I mean, it's as close to as a boss battle as you get in Halo 3 besides the double Scarab battle, right? So all in all, this mission just has a really great climax, and then it's like run, go, get out of here. There's tons of brutes pouring into this section. Are you going to be able to make it? And also, another thing I like about it is it's very open. I don't ever feel like it's an extremely linear mission, even though there is a linear series of events that you have to go through. I feel like each room has a lot of room. Each room has a lot of room to do different things, right? Like you could go and drive around with the guy in the back with a rocket launcher the entire time, or you could go up and use the missile pods, or you could, like in this section, just run behind a huge group of brutes. And I feel like video games these days are just getting so linear and just not giving people different tactics and meaningful choices, which are such an important part of gameplay. You don't want to make your user just have to do one thing over and over and over. You want to make it so that each and every time the user comes back, there's a new way to deal with it, or they find a better way, a more efficient way to deal with it, or just they can, you know, have their own style and get through the section that way. I just really think that the storm captured that. There was a really fantastic video made. It was like a movie about the storm if it were a cinematic, and I wish I could find it, and maybe if I find it I'll link it to you guys, but it just really showcased why I love this mission. So this is a huge part. Gonna throw it on the bubble, jump up, and then immediately jump. There's like a ceiling there, so you have to hit it perfectly, and I had 2 hunters shooting at me. The hammer chieftain was there, and brutes with carbines and all sorts of weapons, and if you get outside, the fence completely saves you. There's no way that they can shoot you or kill you, and now all of these are textures, so I can just run straight through this part of the mission, and look, you're gonna see right here how easy it is to get back inside the map. Like, I just completely glitched outside the map right there. All I had to do was jump over the fence. And now here, all I have to do to get back in is jump over a small gap. Doesn't even need a grenade, nothing special. And look, there's no grunts, no enemies here because I skipped the loading zone, which is over by the turret, as you'll see in a few seconds. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm gonna actually blow up this anti-air gun with 3 plasmas is all it takes, and then I'm gonna book it down to the loading zone to finish up the mission in under 10 minutes. So right here it's gonna open up. I'm gonna throw a uno, and I'm gonna throw a dos, And now this looks literally identical to the Floodgate speedrun, if any of you have seen that. Gonna go and hop my way on down from here. Floodgate, I cannot talk English today, is obviously the opposite of the storm, except a little darker. So as soon as I get back to the loading zone, the game will register that I blew up the anti-air gun, and that's going to immediately end the mission. So that's the storm. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Share it with your buddies if you really liked it. And there's the carnage report, so you can see I didn't cheat. That was a 0-shot legendary run, 955. So check out either of these videos if you are interested. This is Nak3d Eli. Subscribe for more, and thanks so much for watching.